Welcome back to the Fit Minute Podcast, where we talk all things health, fitness, and lifestyle. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Gabby Mazar, and on today I have Dr. Steve Piriano. He is an emergency medicine physician who is passionate about healthy lifestyle. So welcome to the show today. I'm so glad to have you. I love talking to doctors because, especially doctors that are passionate about healthy lifestyles, which all medical doctors should be. But I love talking to doctors because you have kind of a totally different outlook on life and from the medical side of things. So tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your history, how you got into the medical field, and more about yourself.
Sure. Well, thank you very much, Gabby. I appreciate you having me on the show. Thank you so much. As far as about me, so I am happy husband, father of two teenage boys, one 18, one 16. I'm very proud of them. Live in upstate New York, and I'm an emergency medicine physician. And I've been an emergency medicine doctor since 2002. And how did I get into emergency medicine? Well, I guess I always wanted to help people. I guess that's the reason most of us got into emergency medicine. I was fascinated with the human body. So just putting those two passions together, the desire to help people and my passion for the human body and just all its amazement and how it works led me to become a doctor.
So emergency medicine, what drew you to that field specifically?
That's a good question. It was actually kind of a tough decision for me during my fourth year of medical school. When we had to make the decision. I was actually torn between anesthesia and emergency medicine. I loved the physiology and the science behind both of them, but emergency medicine just drew me in because I got to work with lots of different people with lots of different problems, everything from the common cold to appendicitis to car accidents. And so it was a great variety, and I loved being able to kind of get to do detective type work in the emergency department, trying to figure out what a person's symptoms were due to.
So what caused you to look outside of conventional medicine to look at different pathways to health and wellness?
That's a great question. And I just want to preface that by saying that in my early years of practice, all I knew, and I thought that conventional medicine was the way to basically maintain good health. I thought that pills, procedures, and surgeries was how to keep people healthy. That was what I truly believed. But then in 2007, I had my own health crisis. I actually was diagnosed with kidney cancer, and I had surgery, chemotherapy, and I'm very thankful that all the years later I'm here and well. But I have questions. At the time of my diagnosis, I was wondering, like, why did I get cancer? Am I not living as healthy a life as I thought I was? Is there anything I could do to stop this from happening again? So actually, I remember very clearly, a short while after I was feeling better from my surgery, I walked into a Barnes & Noble in Manhattan with these questions, and I bought some books. I bought a couple of books on nutrition, wellness, meditation, and I started reading them. I was fascinated by what I was reading. It just opened my eyes to a whole new world of what people can do to help maintain health. It was so different from what I had known from emergency medicine and conventional medicine. So I just started reading and learning more. And then when I got back to work, I started to actually realize and take note of the patients I was taking care of. I was seeing so many patients with diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease. And I used to always think that these were diseases of older people, but I was seeing people in their 50s, 40s, even 30s with these diseases. And I started to kind of, in my mind, these patient experiences started to merge with all this self-education I was giving myself. And I thought, wow, people are really not living as healthy as they can be. And we probably could be doing so much more to keep ourselves healthy.
So what do you feel like you learned from all of that, from the books you were reading, from the education you were giving yourself, other than, you know, that people that of younger ages? Because I see the same thing too, because being a personal trainer, being a Pilates teacher, owning my own studio, I see everything. You see all kinds of different illnesses, and I see diabetes. One of my good friends, when we were 35, 36, he was diagnosed with diabetes, had no clue that that was even in his family or that was something that he could possibly get. And the first signs was he started losing his eyesight. And then all of a sudden he started losing weight rapidly, but he was doing a weight loss challenge. So he thought that that was part of it. So, never in his wildest dreams did he think that that was something that could happen. So what kind of things did you learn uh, from doing all this research?
Yeah, the big thing I learned was that lifestyle is such a huge and very important part of our health. Lifestyle is basically key. It's critical in keeping us healthy. And without living a healthy lifestyle, the chances that a person is going to develop one of these chronic diseases like diabetes or heart disease or high blood pressure increases dramatically. But if you live a healthy lifestyle, you will definitely help to substantially reduce your risk of developing these types of diseases.
What about your own healthy habits?
Well, now they're very good. And it's funny. So back in 2007, I found out that I wasn't really living as healthy as I could be. Now, exercise, I was great. I always loved to exercise. So I never had a problem with that. I always try to keep myself in good shape. And honestly, I'm one of those people that most people would hate because I can eat as much as I want and not gain a pound. But exercise is great. But what I learned was that my diet really wasn't as healthy as I thought it was. I was eating granola bars, so much processed food. I was eating dinners that came in a in a bag, and I thought they were healthy. And I also seriously lacked in the fruits and vegetables department. I wasn't really eating much fruits, vegetables, whole grains. And even as an emergency physician, I thought that my diet was healthy. I mean, granola bars, they have to be healthy. And after learning so much, I started to change the way I ate. I started to basically eat more fruits, vegetables. So now my diet primarily, I guess I would consider myself, I am a whole food, plant-based vegan. I eat basically as much fresh fruits and vegetables as I can, whole grains, beans, nuts, seeds, and that's kind of what I eat, and I enjoy it, and I feel so great eating these types of foods.
I think that you would definitely have been in the majority. I think a lot of people do think they eat very, very well and think that, yeah, granola bars are great. And, this packaged food, it says it's healthy and this is good food. I'm eating really well. But when you look at the actual ingredients of something, a granola bar is packed full of sugar. And, those packaged foods are packed full of preservatives, and the things that you're actually eating are not healthy. But when you go back to basics, if you're eating basic food, yeah, the nuts, the seeds, the berries, the even if you're not vegan, if you're eating just organic meats and basic foods, those are the things you should be eating, not stuff that's full of preservatives, stuff that's full of sugar, stuff that's full of just crap. It shouldn't have all these ingredients that you can't pronounce. And to be fair, that there are some things that, you don't know what it is, like niacin. That's something that you should be having, but there are things that you should be eating that you may not necessarily know what it is because they're nutrients and vitamins, but things that are packed full of stuff are crap, and we don't necessarily know what it is. So if you're just eating basic food that's good for you, you're nourishing your body, you're eating good food. And I think so many people do think they're eating well. I remember I had a client who came in one time and said, "Oh, I have a Jamba Juice every day." And I was like, what the hell? Like, do you have any idea what's in that Jamba Juice? This one Jamba Juice is like 1,500 calories and has like 300 grams of sugar. Like, no, do not ever have that again. Do not ever have that. You are pre-diabetic. You have diabetes in your family. Like, no. And he had no idea. To him, he's like, I get my fruit every day. But like packed full of sugar. And, I'm like, this could literally send you into diabetes. Do not do that. And but people have no idea. So it's very interesting that, even a doctor could think that way, right?
Right, exactly. I think education is so important to try to educate and create awareness. Like I said, labels are important. Like I used to see, eat bread or flour, like, wow, this bread has enriched flour. Wow, it's rich. That's great. But then when I learned, enriched just means that they actually stripped the fiber from the grain and the nutrients, and then they just added back a few of the nutrients, and it's not, you're missing the fiber. So it's really not healthy, but looking at the word enriched, it sounds like it's such a good thing.
Right, exactly. So, was there a specific patient that caused you to question people's overall state of health? Someone that you worked with specifically?
Yeah, there was another experience I'll never forget. Uh, Back early on when I first became an attending, we got a call from EMS. They were coming with the cardiac arrest. So we got prepared. And then shortly, a little while later, the ambulance doors burst open. Paramedics rush in. They're doing CPR, and this lady on the stretcher, and she looks relatively young. And ask how old she is, and she's 39 years old. 39 years old. So right now I'm going through in my mind, was it a drug overdose? What could it have been? Because I no way I thought it could have been a heart attack or anything like that. So we worked on her for a while. We gave shocks, we gave medications, multiple rounds, really worked very hard to try to resuscitate her. But after working for a long time, I realized that it was futile, and we stopped resuscitation and felt very badly about that. So anyway, about a week or so later, I was, still very curious. I had this patient in my mind. I wanted to know what happened, and I spoke to our medical examiner, and they told me that, she actually had a blockage of her coronary arteries, the arteries of her heart. This lady, this 39-year-old lady with kids, had actually died of a heart attack, and I was shocked. I was thrown back. I did not think 39-year-olds had heart attacks, but she did, and that was a pivotal experience for me. It really showed me that, these chronic diseases, this is a serious problem, and it's affecting people that are younger and younger.
Yeah, I just knew someone that I went to high school with who just passed away of a heart attack at
Oh,
40.
oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, 40 years old. I was also shocked. I mean, I had just turned 40 just a few months ago. I mean, it is, I, you just don't think it will happen. You just don't think at 40 that should happen to you, but we don't take care of ourselves. And I, you do know that genetics does play some sort of role. We are predisposed to certain things,
Sure.
but what you eat, how you take care of yourself absolutely does play a role. So, you know, I, we have to understand that you have to take care of yourself. But after you came to the conclusion that people aren't likely to live healthy because most people are living busy lives and doing things and on this autopilot, what did you decide to do? What did you decide to take action to do?
Well, first thing was regarding myself or regarding other people.
Both.
So, regarding me, I changed my diet. That was the key thing I did. I changed my diet, and I actually learned about meditation, and I started to practice mindfulness meditation. I found that really helped me. So those were two things I did for myself. And I definitely I think I raised health up as a priority on my list of many priorities. So that really rose to the top. So, and as far as other people, so when I was seeing this and how how sick people are getting and at younger ages, I really felt the need to do something. There's a lesson, there's a message here, and I felt it was something important that needed to be, broadcast out into the world. So actually, I started writing articles for a couple of local newspapers about health, nutrition, wellness, also a little bit of personal development. And I was pleasantly surprised when I received feedback from the editors saying that my articles were very well received. So I was like, oh wow, this is great. So then I thought came to me and says, hey, why don't I write a book? So I actually thought about it and I started to came up with an idea and I actually wrote a children's book with an adventure book with the theme of health and wellness. Then I wrote a second one, and then I also wrote a memoir about a lot of life lessons that I've had, and also contains a lot of my insights of health and wellness. Just hoping to get this message out. I want to be able to try to help adults and kids to live healthy lives. Because if we can get kids to understand the importance of physical activity and eating the right foods, and if we can get them to know that, then they'll likely develop and maintain healthy habits and grow up into healthy adults.
Yeah, I just had this conversation yesterday, actually. That same client that I was telling you about the Jamba Juice, he has a little
Uh-huh.
brother who is overweight, and you know, he can't he's younger and can't choose his own foods, and he eats school lunch and his mom cooks for him. But his brother asked me to sit him down and give him some options of things that he can do, um, choices he can make for school lunches, and how he can eat better at home, and exercises he can do because he likes to play video games. He doesn't play sports, and how he can
Uh-huh.
make better choices. And I sat him down and I said, these are portion sizes. These are the portions you should be eating. And you can Google that. But this, I put on a piece of paper and I said, this is a portion of rice. This is a portion of meat. This is a portion of fruit and vegetables. And I said, this kind of helped him with that. And I said, when you're at school, what kind of choices do you have? This is the choice you might want to make. I said, sometimes you can choose this, but most of the time choose this. When you're at home, maybe ask your mom to make these choices at the food store and bring this home sometimes, or if she does that, and just to give him ideas. And it was really nice to know that, his brother did tell me that, yeah, he's making better choices. He's going to the gym 2 and 3 days a week, just getting on the treadmill. And it was like, oh, you're making a little bit of influence. And, his brother's making a little bit of influence on this 14-year-old kid, because they don't know. They don't have the education, and they're only learning from, their parent or the people around them or the other kids around them. So you have to educate them because they don't know any different, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Um,
when they
yeah, go ahead.
saying when if they start to feel better by eating better foods and they're enjoying the foods, and it's kind of like if they develop some momentum, and it's just the life that they should start to pick up because they feel so good doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, and then they can influence people around them as well. If they're
Absolutely,
making better
definitely.
choices, then the kids around them, well, hopefully you would think that the kids around them will make those choices too, because they can educate them as well. Or take the kids, their friends with them to the gym to walk on the treadmill, or to go play basketball, or, go for a hike or something. So you would hope that you're sending out influence into the world, but
I think there's a lot of influence there. If you see your peers, if they say they say, I've heard that you're like the combination of the five people that you're closest to. So if you see your peers and they're eating healthy foods and exercising, even if you're not that type of person, you're going to start to say, wow, they're doing it. You're going to feel that influence, and you're probably going to also start following some of the habits that some of the things that they do as well.
absolutely. So, you've learned something, it's called lifestyle medicine.
Yes.
How did you learn about it, and what are the six pillars of lifestyle medicine?
So I learned about lifestyle medicine actually from an article in one of the emergency medicine newspapers. It was written by a lifestyle medicine, an ER doc who was certified in lifestyle medicine. And she was just talking about how lifestyle is so important for good health and how there's this field of medicine that addresses that. And I was like, wow, that article just spoke to me. So that was the first I'd ever heard of it. And what lifestyle medicine is basically using evidence-based lifestyle interventions to prevent, treat, and even help reverse chronic diseases. And the six pillars of lifestyle medicine are basically the six things that are considered to be the most important to the six most important lifestyle factors to help maintain good health. And it's basically eating right, getting regular physical activity, sleeping well, managing your stress well, and developing good social connections, good relationships with other people. And the sixth one is avoiding risky substances like tobacco and alcohol.
So that how does that work? So that basically the six pillars is lifestyle medicine, and that's avoiding all those things is how lifestyle medicine works.
Yes, yes. So basically, um, so, so let's say you have a person. So let's say there's a patient comes to you, you're a lifestyle medicine practitioner. You basically speak to that person and assess their current lifestyle and their current level of health. And are they living a healthy or an unhealthy lifestyle? And if their lifestyle doesn't seem to be as healthy as it should be, basically what you ask them is, all right, if I kind of, share with you some things that might be helpful. And if they are in agreement, then basically explain the dangers of an unhealthy lifestyle and also the benefits of a healthy lifestyle. And then you kind of assess kind of their readiness to change. Where are they? I mean, on their lifestyle journey, do they want to live healthier? And if they do, you basically it's a collaboration. One of the big differences, there's a big difference between lifestyle medicine and conventional medicine in the kind of role the patient plays. So in conventional medicine, the doctor is the expert, and the doctor basically diagnoses the disease and we prescribe the treatment. And the patient is more of a kind of a passive recipient of the doctor's expert advice. Whereas in lifestyle medicine, the patient is an active participant in their own health. In lifestyle medicine, the goals are made with the patient. The patient kind of helps develop the goals, the lifestyle goals, the plan. It's done together. It's a collaboration. So it's this collaboration. And once we come up with a plan, we also try to figure out like what obstacles are there for the patient. Like if we want to eat healthier, do they have someone to go to the store for them? Is there time to cook, to go shopping? So we try to figure out the obstacles and their support systems and try to find out what we can do to overcome these obstacles for the person to try to help them to live healthier.
So I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but going back to genetics, some people think that that's a dominant factor in determining overall health. But now that we've talked about lifestyle medicine, and obviously I don't necessarily believe this because I do think that you can overcome those things and not necessarily get, the things that are genetically predisposed to. But do you believe, or is it true that that is a dominant factor? Can you overcome these things? Um, is it true? So basically, you know, can you still live healthy? Can you be healthy and not get ill from the things that are genetically in your family?
I absolutely believe that. After all I've learned over the past 15 years or so, I've learned so much. And yes, like you said, genetics can predispose us to diseases like heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer. That's definitely true, no doubt about it. However, there's there's a field of medicine called epigenetics, and what epigenetics shows us is that genes, whether they're healthy genes or with good genes or bad genes, they need to be activated to actually do whatever they are going to do. So let's say, for instance, that a person has a strong family history of heart disease. Everybody in their family has heart disease. So this person likely has a genetic predisposition to heart disease. They likely have genes that will increase their risk of developing heart disease. But again, those genes need to be activated in order to increase the risk for heart disease. And the thing that will either activate them or keep them turned off is lifestyle, which will affect your internal environment. So if this person eats a really lousy diet, they basically eat fatty foods, fried foods, processed foods. And if they're sedentary, if they smoke, if they're under a lot of stress, if they don't get much sleep, all of these things combined with that genetic predisposition will definitely increase the likelihood that those genes will be activated and they'll go on to develop heart disease. However, if the same person with this same genetic predisposition has a totally different lifestyle, if they eat healthy foods, lots of whole natural foods, if they exercise regularly and they're not sedentary, they don't smoke, they sleep well, they manage their stress well, they have good, strong relationships. If all of these things are true, they are going to create an entirely different internal environment, and they are going to decrease the chance that they develop heart disease. And that has actually been shown scientifically as well. There's been studies. Dr. Ornish, well-known doctor way back in the 90s, I believe, he actually conducted a study. He took patients who had angiographically proven heart disease, meaning they did an angiogram, looked at the blood vessels of the heart, and actually saw plaque buildup in narrow vessels. And he did a lifestyle intervention. Basically, they ate healthy foods. They stopped smoking if they smoked. They exercised. They had also group psychosocial support. So they try to manage their stress. And they followed these people. And these people actually, they felt better, but they actually, when they looked at their blood vessels again, they did another angiogram, the plaque in their heart blood vessels was actually lessening. Their blood vessels were actually opening. So their heart disease was actually being reversed solely by lifestyle. And these people in this study, they were not on cholesterol medications either. So it was just lifestyle that actually reversed their heart disease. So it's really amazing. So yeah, we have genes, and genes are important, but they are not our destiny. And I think that's such an important thing for people to understand.
Yeah, and it's not to be said that it's 100%, right? I mean, but
Right.
it does significantly decrease the likelihood of. So, I mean, it's you could still, but
Of
significant.
course.
I mean, absolutely you will see huge drops in, the likelihood for sure. Um,
Yes.
so of course, I mean, you want to change your lifestyle, you want to eat better, you want to exercise. But that being said, I mean, we talked about you completely changing your food habits, but are there days where you don't feel like exercising?
Oh yeah. This
Yeah.
I definitely have days where I don't feel like exercising. I'll have days where I'm scheduled to go out there and run or work out or whatever, and just not in the mood. Just I don't feel like doing it. I'm tired or whatever. But the thing I do is I just do it anyway. If I'm gonna run and I just go out, I take those few steps, I start running. And actually, when I'm in that kind of mood, the first 5, 10 minutes it's hard. I really feel pretty lousy. It's hard, but then I start building momentum. I feel really good. And it turns out that I actually have some of the best workouts on days when I just didn't feel like working out to begin with.
Well, there's never a day you regret working out.
Right. Exactly.
After you exercise or after you do it, you're never like, oh, I wish I didn't do that.
So true. So true.
There's, I mean, it's always hard to get there. It's always like, ah, man, I could be doing something else, or I don't feel like that. Yeah, but you're never going to regret doing it after the fact. You're always going to be like, I'm so glad I did that. It's over, it's done with, and now I can go on with the rest of my day for sure.
Absolutely. Exactly.
If someone does want to buy either of your books, what are the names of your books and how do they get a hold of them?
The books are the Josh and Joey's Incredible Museum Adventure is one of the children's books. Um, and it's funny, one of the main characters in that book is kind of like your client's brother. He was very enjoyed playing video games, but not much into physical activity. So that's one of the books, Josh and Joey's Incredible Museum Adventure. The other one is called The Lost Ugu. And the other one is called My Steps Forward, an inspirational guide to living a better health. And they're available from Amazon or Barnes and Noble. And also my website, which is stevepiriano.com.
Okay. Perfect. I will link both of those in the show notes so if people wanted to buy those, they can get a hold of those. But is there anything else you would like to leave our listeners with today? Any advice or anything you think that they should know?
Yeah, I would just say that if you want to change your lifestyle, then might be a big undertaking, but you can do it. If you commit to it, basically set goals. Most people should start slow and take baby steps and gradually increase, but commit to it. Believe in yourself. Stay consistent. Consistency is so important, and have a buddy or an accountability partner, someone who will be there for you to help you, a coach or whatever it is, someone that you could be accountable to, and just keep going and know that if there's setbacks or failures, there probably will be, but that's okay. That's all part of the journey. Learn something from it and keep moving forward. And I think that, if you believe in yourself, you will be able to change your lifestyle and feel healthy or just basically feel great about it.
Thank you so much. I love that. That's so true. All of those things, always having an accountability partner and consistency, 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 one
Mhm.
day at a time. Just take it one step at a time. Don't think about the long road. Think about today, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. We learned so much, and I absolutely loved having you on the show. So,
Yeah.
thank
Thanks, Abby. I love being here. Thank you so much.
yes, thank you. And thank you everyone for listening. We will all see you next week.